came up on the Rangers. David Ortiz, 7th in the batting order. He hasn't been that low since 03. 2-0, and on the 3-2 count, Ortiz off the lefty Eddie Guardado, who they brought in to face him. 2-run shot, 16th. This game is tied. It's untied when Andrew Jones singles in Marlon Byrd off John Lester, who went 6 innings, 11 Ks, 3 earned. Rangers up 3-2 on a Red Sox squad that's lost 6 straight road games. All right, it was 4-2 in the ninth, now 4-3, and Terry Francona going to put in Clay Buchholz, the pitcher, to pinch run for Jason Varitek. Dustin Pedroia off Frank Francisco. David Murphy can't catch it, but he can throw it, and Michael Young throws home, and Buchholz is out, and, well, here's why. He did not go to the Maury Willis School of base running. And then once he decided to go, he had a little, that's a problem there. And Buchholz is out.
Watch the rotator cuff.
Victor Martinez, his biggest hit since joining the nation, right there, next batter. Jacoby Ellsbury and Pedroia score. The Red Sox down 4-2, now up 5-4. Next batter's Jason Bay. He's going to single off Francisco, who gave up 7 hits and 6 earned in 2/3. This is a dude who hadn't given up more than 4 runs or 4 hits in 203 Major League appearances. He said he didn't want anyone around his locker afterwards. He told the press, beat it. Bottom 9, Jonathan Papelbon. Coffee is for closers. Marlon Byrd swinging. Red Sox winning 8-4. Huge game. 9th inning comeback allows the Red Sox to expand.
He is for a second straight game, but they're trying to keep rolling without him. They were in Seattle looking for their 11th win in 12 games. Andy Pettitte 1-5 at Safeco Field. Jose Lopez off Pettitte. Ichiro comes in to score. Lopez in with a double. Mariners scored 2 runs in the first off Pettitte. And after the inning, that's G. Bottom third, Mariners up 2-1, runners on first and second. Pettitte gets Ken Griffey Jr. to pop one up. Now, Derek Jeter ranges to his right, calls it, and makes the catch right next to Jerry Hairston Jr., who was in for A-Rod. And Hairston's like, dude, I had it. And Jeter's like, dude, I'm the captain. Yankees got out of the inning unharmed. Top 9, tied at 2. Mark Teixeira decided a game earlier this week with a home run. Does it again off Mark Lowe, his 30th of the season. Yanks going to win it 4-2. Mariano Rivera picked up his 34th save. He's converted his last 30 save opportunities, 11 out of 12 for New York.
Angels led the AL West by 4.5 when the day began. They're at Baltimore. Vladimir Guerrero, top 1. Chris Tillman pitch in the dirt. Vlad reaches down and makes the blooper reel. Felix PA, that's a bad throw by him. He had a good game, though, as you'll see. Istura scores. The Angels up 1. This is just, look at. Can you hit it? Can you do that? They say that's like cricket, but I don't know enough about cricket to say whether it is or not. So I'm going to have to believe what they wrote.
Take their word for it.
Guerrero, 2 for 4. PA doubles into right. Scores a run there. It's 4-2. And then the bottom of third. PA off Jared Weaver. Jared Weaver gave up 8 earned in 3 1/3. PA's third home run of the year at 7-2. And then PA in the bottom of the 7th, 9-5 Orioles. So he's got a single. So what's that mean? Oh, he needs a triple for the cycle. Well, he's not going to get that, is he? Oh, yes, he is. Felix PA, the 9th cycle in Orioles history, 7th in the majors this season. Orioles set season highs in hits with 19 and runs 16, and they give Tillman his first career win in his 4th career start. It's 16-6. Orioles.
From the OC to AZ, Dan Herron struggling since the All-Star break. 1-2, 6.26 ERA. Said, it's no secret, I'm scuffling right now. Just have to try to dig myself out of a hole the best I can. He had the shovel out. Top first, he gets Rafael Furcal swinging. Andre Ethier swinging. Matt Kemp, may I help you? No thanks, I'm just looking. Bottom second, Diamondbacks up 2-0, runners on first and third. Herron facing Clayton Kershaw, who hadn't been scuffling. And Herron drives in a run with a single up the middle. D-backs up 3-0. Manny Ramirez off Herron. That'll be good for a double. Ramirez 13 for 23 against Herron at that point. 2 batters later, James Loney. And that'll help Herron get out of the gym. 4-6-3 double play. So it's back to the dugout. Top 8, 4-1 Diamondbacks, 1 on, 2 outs. Manny got a good piece of it there, but not going to do any harm. Heron gets the win. He goes 8 innings, 6 hits, struck out 8. Diamondbacks win it 4-1. Dodgers 8-13 over their last 21.
That's not why we're showing you the Marlins right now. Visiting Rockies, leading the NL wildcard, 3 better than Florida. Josh Johnson, I mean, he was dialed in like Tiger Woods. Troy Tulowitzki there, and then Ian Stewart here. He had 4 Ks through 2 innings. Said afterwards his fastball was kind of exploding, and on days like that, you want to just keep throwing and throwing. Clint Barmas, he's a looker, and Chris Iannetta, he's a swinger. 96 miles an hour on the gun, and then Jason Hamill, the opposing pitcher, sit down. Struck out 7 of the first 9, all on fastball. Said he started thinking about a no-hitter in the 4th. Last threw one as a 7-year-old. He's got one going in the top of the 7th, and then Garrett Atkins said he didn't want to walk him. Well, Atkins can walk around the bases. No-hitter gone. Catcher John Baker said of Johnson afterwards, he was playing video games, pressing buttons. They gave him 3 standing ovations in this game.
Wow.
Not a lot of people there, but those that were there understood. They saw something real impressive. 7 1/3, 1 hit, an earned run, career high 11 Ks.
Central Tigers started Friday 2.5 games up on the White Sox. Detroit hosting the Royals. Good old-fashioned pitchers duel between Zach Greinke and Jared Washburn. Greinke gets Curtis Granderson in the first with a slider, 86 miles an hour there. And then Washburn facing Mark Tien. Got him. That was only 78 miles per hour, but Tien didn't know what was going on there. Both also using their fastballs. Willie Bloomquist looking at a 90-mile-per-hour fastball from Washburn. 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 4 Ks for Washburn. Greinke gets Clete Thomas, 93 miles an hour on the gun there. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 6 Ks for Greinke. Bottom 9, still no score. Brandon Inge at the plate facing Roman Colon. And it is time to bounce in the D. Walk-off solo job for Inge, 23rd of the season, and the Tigers get the win 1-0. What about the White Sox?
Well, so they need to win at Oakland to remain 2.5 back, and they have not been good on the road lately. Jose Contreras hasn't been good wherever he's been lately. Bottom 4, White Sox up 6-1. Is anybody alive out there? Alex Rios, Carlos Quentin, neither make the catch on the Ryan Sweeney double. Contreras went 4 1/3, gave up 6 earned. This is still in the 4th. Bases loaded, Mark Ellis, and he's going to clear him. Quentin bobbles it a bit. Ellis gets all the way to 3rd, so 6-1 is now 6-4. We go top 7, and this game is tied. So the White Sox have given up a 6-1 lead. Quentin looking at the Brad Ziegler pitch. Let's go 10th inning. Alexi Ramirez, 0-2 pitch. Craig Breslow, solo shot. His 3rd in the last 5 games. The White Sox win 8-7, just their 4th win in their last 16 road games. So they remain 2.5 back.
Phillies coming off that sweep of the Cubs, taking on the Braves. Atlanta's 17-9 record since the break, best in the National League. Jair Jurgens, coolest name in baseball, and some good numbers too. But Chase Utley doesn't care about any of that. 2-run shot for him is 24, 2-1 Phillies. Bottom 5, game tied at 2, runner on 3rd, 2 outs. Shane Victorino robbing Brian McCann, and no one threw a beer on him.
He would have caught it had they.
Blanton digging the help. Then Jurgens got hot, gets Utley. Jason Worth, I believe your seat in the dugout is ready. 7 innings of work, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks for Jurgens. Top 9 still tied. Ryan Howard ready to do something about that. Off Rafael Soriano. Solo shot for Howard is 28th, and the Phillies up 3-2. Bottom 9, Sam scored 2 on, 2 out. Nate McLouth trying to do something for the Braves. Long way the other way. Stays in the yard. Phillies win it 3-2. Brad Lidge with his 22nd save of the season. Phillies won 4 in a row now after dropping.
For some top plays, Dan?
Yes, sir.
All right,
I mean, hey, unless you want Ashton to do them with you.
Well, you know what? He's not available, unfortunately. National
wow.
Ryan Zimmerman. Oh, Giannis. Leapins. He had hops for breakfast. We got more from this game momentarily.
So when I get the invite for the guest spot on Entourage, I'll remember. Number 9, Angels and Orioles. Meister is tourist down the line. Felix P.A. playing out. That's not all P.A. did. He follows it into the glove the entire way. More from this coming up. How about right now?
Come on, who's your buddy? Who's your pal? Vlad Guerrero. He can hit it from anywhere, including pitches that bounce in the dirt.
That is crazy. I mean, like, how do you swing at that?
Vlad, you do that. Orioles, though, won it big.
Number 7, Phillies and Braves. Kelly Johnson right back to Joe Blanton. And he doesn't need his glove for that one. Just give me that. Pitching hand, got to be careful there, but he made the play.
Let's go to the desert. Trent Olchen. Matt Kemp. He went Olympic on the catch, but the Diamondbacks, they won the game.
Number 5, Royals and Tigers, no score, bottom 9. Brandon Inge, he chased one high in the zone and knocked it into the bullpen. Or at least into the place where it goes for a home run. 23rd of the season. Tigers wouldn't win nothing.
Paul Yanish, it's all about you.
Bullpen, huh?
All about you on SportsCenter, bro. Christian Guzman. I'll take that, Giannis says. And we got, you know what, Sam, I'm kind of hooked on this Nats-Reds game.
How about Ryan Zimmerman? Willie Taveras lays down the bunt, but Zimmerman charging in time. You know, it seems like when you make a play like that, the umpire gives you one of those. I mean, the umpire, he gets into it. You know?
Braves, Phillies, Shane Victorino. See, here's the thing about this dude. You could drop the entire keg on his head, and he's going to catch that ball. All right, that's how tough he is. Philly's tough, too. They beat the Braves 3-2.
Quarterfinals of the Rogers Cup at number 1. After a long rally, Joe Wilfred Tsonga slips, dives, and makes the return against Roger Federer. Federer into the net. And his 21-match winning streak comes to an end. Tsonga into the...
In Queens, bottom 4th, David Wright against Matt Cain. The name is right, the place and time all wrong for David.
Oh, goodness.
Cain drills him in the helmet. Wright down for a few moments. Watch it again. On an 0-2 count, Wright had no time to react to the 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Cain, visibly upset, said he would try to reach out to Wright on Sunday. Wright eventually was helped away, but walked off under his own power and headed to an ambulance where he was taken to a local hospital. The good news, a CT scan on Wright was negative. He suffered a concussion. But this is baseball. The story does not end there. Johan Santana throws behind Pablo Sandoval in the 7th. We've got warnings all around. Same at bat. Sandoval has the answer. You throwing at me? His 18th of the year puts the Giants up 4-1. Santana wasn't done there. Next batter, Benji Molina will take it in the elbow. Giants skipper Bruce Bochy comes out. He wants Santana ejected. Jerry Manuel's going to beat him to the punch and pull Santana at that point anyway. Didn't really much matter. Bottom 8th, Giants up 4-1 for Corey Sullivan. That's a knock. Anderson Hernandez comes around to score. The Giants lead is down to 2. Cain pitched a good 7 1/3. He was done. And a little sarcastic tip of the cap for the Mets fans as they booed him on his way out. The Mets would tie it. We go to the 10th. Benji Molina strikes back. His 15th of the year. That's how you answer. And the Giants win it 5-4. What a Saturday afternoon at Citi Field. Molina with the big shot. Wright, meanwhile, is expected to spend the night in the hospital with a concussion. Earlier this month, in a New York Times story about a new batting helmet capable of protecting players from 100-mile-per-hour fastballs, Wright was quoted as saying, quote, "If it provides more protection, then I'm all for it."
Braves, 6 games separating the two teams entering Saturday. Brad Lidge, 7 blown saves on the year. How many last year? 0. Garrett Anderson in the 9th, base hit. Tying run on first. Matt Diaz laying down the bunt. Brad Lidge, error number 1. Brad Lidge, error number 2. Brad Lidge, blown save number 8 because Anderson scores from first, 3-3. So Lidge then intentionally walks Adam LaRoche. So there is an open base. I just don't think he wanted to fill it with Greg Norton right away. Bases loaded, nobody out. Next up, Ryan Church, swinging, 1 away. Next up, Omar Infante, swinging. But that's a base knock right through the hole. Brad Lidge rather gives it away. Braves win. They've won 6 of 7. The rematch. Ian Kinsler, first game back after missing 16 with a strained left hamstring. Bottom 2 leading off. Solo home run off Brad Penny. and his ERA near 8 in his last 3 starts. 1-0 Tejas. To the 4th, Elvis Andrus on first after a leadoff single. Brad Penny, pitch out. You know he's going, and he still robs you blind. Next pitch, Andrus. Oh, he's got wheels. And off he goes, and, well, why not? It was easy. Mike Lowell playing in on the grass, waiting for a bunt. 8 steals for the Rangers. It's a franchise record. Later in the at-bat, Julio Bourbon, dribbler up the middle. Off Penny's hand, Andrus scores. Andrus, the first Ranger in 9 years with 3 hits, 3 runs, and 3 steals in a game. Bourbon, by the way, 4 hits and 4 steals. Bottom 7, Rangers up 2. Oh, boy, Ian Kinsler high and tight. Remember, he did hit the home run earlier. That one didn't hit him, fortunately. In fact, he later singled in the at-bat. To the 8th, Fernando Cabrera. Well, that did hit him. And it hit him in the head. Why are we seeing this so much, not just tonight, but over the last week or so? Stayed down momentarily, and he was steaming when he got up. His team won 7-2. Texas back to a half game behind Boston. Kinsler okay.
Back for Seattle's game in Seattle against the rookie Luke French and the M's. French didn't get a lot of help from his D behind him. Melky Cabrera pops it up. Franklin Gutierrez and Ichiro converge. Oh, yeah. Now, the rule is you call it, you catch it. Gutierrez great on the call part and then sort of bailed out on the actual catching. And wouldn't you know it, 3 batters later, here's Nick Swisher. Swisher, sweet. 2-run poke to left off French. Now, Yankee hitters have been thriving at the new stadium, but 16 of Swisher's 19 home runs have been on the road. 4-1 Yanks. But the Ends load him up in the 6th. Ryan Langerhans took it like a man. Yanks out of the inning. 7th inning, Jose Molina throws out Ichiro trying to steal third. That is the first Molina caught stealing of this Sports Center. Yanks out of the inning again. In the 9th, Derek Jeter plays insurance man. That's his 15th. Mariano Rivera comes on for his 35th save. The Yanks are 23-6 since the All-Star break.
Kuroda was a pitcher on the other end of a speeding baseball. Oh, my goodness. Off the bat of Rusty Ryle, right off the head of Hiroki Kuroda, and into the stands goes the ball. Kuroda goes down in a heap. We'll watch this again. It is not pretty at all. No chance in the world Hiroki can do anything about this. Joe Torre awfully concerned as he watches the veteran pitcher go down in a heap after getting hit on the right side of the head. Kuroda was strapped to a stretcher and hauled off on a cart.
Matty, you and I were here, and
much more on Kuroda's status in a moment. Bottom 9, Jonathan Broxton trying to close it out for the Dodgers, and Broxton, well, he has struggled of late closing baseball games. Mark Reynolds with his 37th home run of the season. Next batter, Miguel Montero. You hot ball? Go for a little ride in the pool. 12th of the year, ties it at 3. Another blown save for Broxton. To the 10th, Dodgers have played 4 extra inning games in their last 8 of them. Ramon Troncoso walks, the bases loaded. Next up, it's Gerardo Parra. In those 4 extra inning games, LA is 0-4. Diamondbacks win in walk-off fashion. The Dodgers lead over the Colorado Rockies, who were rained out Saturday, 4.5 games. As for Kuroda, spending the night in a hospital in Phoenix. CAT scan, negative. There was no bleeding. Trainer Stan Conti said the first thing Kuroda said when he got to him was, did anybody catch the ball? Was it an out?
A soft stretch in the schedule that includes San Diego, against which Albert Pujols had 52 RBIs in 52 career games. Make it 53 for 53. Pujols, the liners deep right. Colby Rasmus will come in to score. It's a double for El Hombre. Next up, Matt Holliday. There's no stopping Matt Holliday, the Cardinal these days. 2-run shot, something for the peeps. 5th homer as a Redbird. Holliday hit it. Watch Pujols, because he knew it. Didn't bother to look. You know, and as good as Pujols is, he might actually be psychic as well. We don't know. Cards up 3-1. Joel Pinheiro, 5-0 his last 7 starts. Getting some work done. He went 6 2/3 and allowed 3 earned runs in this one. But the Padres still in it Down 5-4, bases loaded in the 7th. Not for long. Watch Yadier Molina. All three Molinas have made SportsCenter. Another pickoff for him. Since July 1st, Cards are 22-3 if Carpenter for that, by the way. You bet.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you much. Let's go a little top plays, shall we? What? Roy Jones Jr. Saturday night just toying with Jeff Lacy. And he did this all fight long, talking to the crowd, talking to the announcers. He won when Lacy did not answer the bell after the 10th round. Roy Jones Jr. victorious.
Easy. Step up the opponent, maybe. I don't know if you're talking to the folks ringside during the fight. Phillies Braves, Chipper Jones. Nice. Into the camera well.
Number 8, Pirates Cubs. Fly ball to left. Sam Fold. Sam Fold. Don't. That's not padded.
Oh.
That's not padded. That's not padded.
Next verse, same as the first. Same game, Steve Pearce diving catch on the pop. Oh, that's all out. Well, that's one of the, that could have gone ugly, too.
Oh, it could have been real ugly. Number 6, Texans Chiefs. James Casey. The diving catch from Dan Orlovsky. Wow, that's a great catch from the rookie.
Sweet. Little League World Series, Kentucky, Indiana. Foul ball down the right field line. Look at Daniel Beatty. Wow.
Well, these are flying, by the way. Number 4, Browns, Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Steps up, fires a cannon, and Donald Driver there to catch it. Great play by Aaron Rodgers. And then Driver, the Lambeau leap, nearly gets locked. Whoa, can we have him back, please? Wait, no, little guy, Pee-wee game. He's going to do the leap. He needs a little help.
More Little League World Series.
That ball is driven. It's a walk-off grand slam, and Massachusetts is going to Williamsport.
Ravi, does he get per diem for that? That happened in Bristol.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. Number 2, Phillies Braves. Ryan Howard, the grounder. Martin Prado, the great play at second. You know, Howard does not exactly have blazing speed, so he couldn't beat that out, but Prado, a dynamite play.
Number 1, Premier League, now on ESPN2.
Back for Didier Drogba. Chipped up delightfully, and in! Oh, what a goal! Didier Drogba, deep into stoppage time, his second, and that should be enough to win it for Chelsea.
Didier Drogba, delightful. The game winner.